Nearly half of UK children have not seen an NHS dentist for over 12 months, with quite a lot of schools having to pick up the slack and teach children about oral hygiene. So is it parents letting children down, Narinder, or is it the NHS, or something terrible's going wrong, obviously?
I think it's completely the parents' fault. You can't keep fobbing everything off as the state's fault. I'm a mother, and I think we choose our battles. I was saying this to Kat. As a mother, you know, what battle are you going to choose? And the battle I have always chosen is, have you brushed your teeth, brush your teeth, brush your teeth. And my children, they're now 18 and 19, no fillings.
Oh, wow.
Now, I'm not sitting here on my moral high horse, oh, aren't I great? But I really did get on top of their oral hygiene. You must brush your teeth morning and before you go to bed. I've got friends who are dentists, and they said the number one thing is the kids are not brushing their teeth before they go to bed. Simple. Why are you, as a mother or father, not teaching your children simple, just brush your teeth? And they're going to bed without brushing their teeth, and they expect the state of the NHS to pick up the cost. And that's fine. They are children. They need help. But as a parent, I think it 100% lies. The responsibility is yours. It's their teeth, their children. They need help. And they're with you 99% of the time. They're not at school 99% of the time.
Cosmo, what do you think?
Well, it's not that hard, is it? What we're asking is to use little dental floss for a few minutes, have a quick brush, and then go to bed. I think the problem is it's the nature of, you know, bedtime life, domestic life, where kids are busy looking at their screen or playing their games. They don't want to take that break and spend that 7 minutes. It's actually 2 minutes is what brushing time is recommended.
That's it. Yes.
And a little dental. I think that's within the capability. Yeah. I don't like to judge other parents, and I'm sure they try to do the best, but it's not that hard to do.
You see, I'm wondering if this idea of bedtime, a bedtime ritual, putting children to bed, the bit where in the old days, you know, Zebedee on the Magic Roundabout would say time for bed, we'd sort of obediently trot off to bed. You know, then you'd have your bath, you'd clean your teeth, you'd be in your pyjamas and you'd go to bed. If you were lucky, your mum and dad might read to you a little bit or come and kiss you goodnight. Yeah. Lights out, close the window. My father always opened the window. Always thought we had fresh air at night.
Fresh air, that's a big thing.
Freezing cold. The air was fresher outside than inside. We'd be freezing. Half the time we'd be sleeping with a jumper on. But anyway, bedtime ritual. I wonder if in a lot of households, what's actually happening is something rather chaotic, where some children almost fall asleep wherever they are, and there isn't an actual bedtime. Right. There isn't a real end to eating, because eating's a very grazing thing these days.
Well.
Lots of kind of, you know, as one of my guests was saying the other day, you know, family packs of sweets, lots of hummus that you can dip into at any old time. You know, you don't have an actual, you know, dinner that ends.
But you can still brush your teeth.
What would you say?
My issue is this narrative that it's parents are to blame. Yes, parents are responsible. I get it. And trust me, as a parent of two, I spent the last 12 years every day, twice a day.
Yeah, we spoke about this.
The battle of the teeth. And there are times, I'll be honest, there are times when it is not the battle I'm going to fight on that evening or that morning. Right. That being said, I do think it is also a systemic problem as well. And I think that, you know, for those parents, and there's also a huge socioeconomic divide in the kids that are being affected by this as well. It's definitely lower socioeconomic families that are being hit by this the most. And I think at some point we have to accept that they're time poor, they're often money poor, and so the kinds of foods that they're relying on are not the kinds of foods that are great for these kids. But you can brush your teeth.
I understand. I come from an immigrant background. I've lost teeth.
And I'm not saying...
My mum didn't have that education, so I understand what you're saying. And, you know, I've got teeth missing at the back because I had so much sugar. And my mum didn't tell me, brush your teeth every night.
I understand. And there are some kids whose parents aren't doing that.
Yeah.
For whatever reason. I don't want to say they don't care. They probably have got other things on their mind. They're probably doing a million things.
They probably have poor dental health themselves.
They probably do. You know, it's often about...
But what's a toothpaste and a toothbrush? A toothpaste and a toothbrush.
And also, I do think quite early on, it is possible to say to children, listen, you know, if you don't do this, you'll have holes in your teeth. Your teeth will be full of fillings. And also, you know, it's a bit vulgar to say, but, you know, your breath might not be nice if you don't clean your teeth. You want to be... what do all the adverts say? You know, Colgate ring of confidence and, you know, all that. You're going to smell all minty, fresh and nice, and, you know, you've got to be a nice and sweet-smelling person.
That's the rational argument. It's like people who smoke. You say, this is really bad for you. You should stop smoking. Do they stop? No, they don't. So
the other thing I will say, on the way here, a friend of mine messaged me. I told her we were talking about this, and she said that her daughter had to have a tooth removed when she was about 6 or something.
Wow.
But the thing was that it was a genetic issue. She
said, I was about to say that.
It's not always that they're not brushing their teeth properly.
They're on 21,000.
They're on 21,000
with rotten teeth because of a genetic.
But to avoid the brain.
I think not that. let's go to Wendy in Carmarthenshire. Wendy, is it the parents' responsibility to make sure their children don't end up in hospital, for goodness sake, having rotten teeth pulled out?
Hi, Vanessa. It's me again from
Lovely
last
to hear
week.
from you, Wendy. Hope you're well. What do you think?
Yes, I do, to be honest with you. I'm 61, just gone. I go to the dentist every 6 months.
Yeah.
I haven't got any fillings, and I've got one tooth missing.
God.
Only because I had a cherry lip and he caught my tooth. Anyway, my sons, when they were younger, unfortunately ended up in hospital having their front teeth out because one of them fell with a little bottle in their mouth.
Oh.
And they rotted. And the other one then had, he wasn't well, and he had to have his front teeth out as well. But since then, they do it as a matter of fact every morning. You know, I think an evening, one of my sons, he's only got to go into the bathroom and he's cleaning his teeth while he's doing whatever he's doing.
All right, so the whole conversation, though, about, parents are time poor, parents are actually living in poverty, they haven't got time, they haven't got money, and, the poorer you are, the more likely it is, unfortunately, that you might end up eating a whole lot of sugary food or cheap food or whatever it is. Wendy, does that wash with you as an argument, or as Cosmo says, it's 2 minutes? Everybody's got 2 minutes to make sure their children clean their teeth, don't they?
Yes, it's 2 minutes, and not only that, if we go back to years and years ago, 100 years, as I say, when there was toothpaste, if you couldn't afford toothpaste, you were using bicarb on a little brush or whatever. I clean my dog's teeth every day, every morning and every night.
So Wendy cleans her dog's teeth day and night. So I think she's the teeth-cleaning queen of the universe, Wendy. Lovely to have you on again. Thank you very much. Let's talk to Steve in Essex. Steve, what's going wrong here? Because 21,000 British children in hospital having their teeth pulled out, for goodness sake, in 2025. It's terrible, isn't it?
Hello, Vanessa and panel.
Hi.
Yeah, I think, yes, it's basically parents' responsibility initially, but are you talking to me?
I am. Certainly am. I'm listening, in fact, to you.
There's a delay, sorry. But I think the problem, really, the government ought to put the price of sugar up, and then a lot of companies that make processed food and drinks for children and sweets would have to put the price of sweets and sugary drinks up, and so parents wouldn't buy as much of it because it would be too expensive. I mean, where I live in North Essex, Suffolk border, there are fields and fields of sugar beet. So it must be a cash crop for the farmers, but it's a cash crop that's not a good crop. Because it
I know, but Steve, you're making packets of sweets a joy for children, like putting the price up to £5, and they can't afford a packet of sweets, which is a treat. No.
I had friends who had the children over for the weekend, and I was staggered when I came to empty the bins how much sugar content was in a yacht drink. Sorry, we shouldn't name that.
No, it's fine, you can.
A fruit drink. And I said, do you realise those kids have got through 22 spoons of sugar? Yeah. Because I actually weighed it all out and measured it by the teaspoon, and he was slightly staggered. I said, that's how much sugar your kids have had.
I think that's one problem. You're right. Of course, no one should be having that much sugar. It's so bad for you. But this is about just brushing your teeth. If you brush your teeth straight after having sugar, you've protected your teeth.
And also, we do have flora.
It is. Go straight to work. I won't mention it.
There are a lot of dentists now that are saying if you brush your teeth immediately after having the sugar, that's actually causing more problem because you're using the sugar and you're breaking down the enamel. That being said, I do think...
but if there was less sugar in products, food products, sauce drinks, like when you make a bolognese sauce, a certain brand, there's like 8 spoons of sugar in it.
Yes, if you were making it at home, you wouldn't put sugar in it, would you?
No.
Absolutely. Steve, good point. Thank you very much. Good point. I mean, there's an enormous amount of sugar.
There's a lot to do with education as well, isn't it? How much sugar is in food. We often don't know. It's hidden away in there. And also education about teeth. I remember as a kid being taught at primary school, going, having people, you get a free toothbrush.
But they do. They are.
My kids have never had that at school.
Really? Oh, no, they are. They are. My friends who are dentists go into schools.
But we know that some areas are dental deserts. We know that it's a postcode lottery in terms of dental care. We know NHS dentists are fewer than hen's teeth in this country. People are really up against it to try and keep their teeth healthy and don't just keep their teeth, full stop, not have somebody else's. Let's go to Joyce in Birmingham. Joyce, is this something that really you must lay at the door of the parents?
I think it should be to a certain age. When the child is old enough to realise that they've got the dentist to go to and she needs a dentist, yes. But definitely, it's the same with the inoculations for the children now, and parents don't have them as much as they should. But it's too much trouble, or they can't think about it. But I realise that it is essential that they go. Now I'm 95 this month, and I'm still going to the dentist. But the point is, if they were to see the children and give them less sweets as a treat, they would be better off. Now, when we went out to live in South Africa, the dentist was absolutely amazed at the teeth of my family. I had 2 children, and myself and my husband, and they said with the children and myself, it was marvellous that they had never had anything like the good teeth that they got. And they said, how has it come by your children as the best teeth I've seen in children? All the children here, they have sweet things, and I see more children than adults. And I said, well, the reason is I've always given my children a good balanced diet, but at the same time, they occasionally have had a sweet, but they never wanted them. They never asked for them. And I don't say don't have any sweets. That's ridiculous. But at the same time, look after the teeth for the children.
Joyce,
and the parents.
happy birthday. Is it your 95th birthday this month, did you say?
95.
95.
95 on the
Very,
23rd
very
of
happy
October.
birthday for them, Joyce. What a pleasure
Thank you.
talking to you. Thank you very much indeed, Joyce, with impeccable teeth at 95. Extraordinary. And Dee, yeah, brilliant. And Dee's on the line in London. Dee, is it up to the schools? There's obviously something going profoundly wrong here. What do you think should happen at school?
Well, I think the schools should be educating as well. We used to have assemblies when I was at primary school, where we would have health people coming in. And I do remember one coming in about teeth cleaning and handed out all the toothbrushes and everything to all the children.
You remember that too?
But I think it is down to every time my children and my grandchildren eat, they're always asked to go and brush their teeth afterwards so that their mouth stays clean and that they understand how bad.
Never told my grandchildren to go and clean their teeth after eating a bar of chocolate, and I'm always the supplier. I'm the covert supplier of, here's a flake from your grandma, don't tell your mum. I'm that terrible grandma, and I never have once done that, Dee. Should I start doing that? Say, go and clean your teeth straight after?
Yeah, so, and just things like that. And you educate children about your teeth. You're going to have them for a very long time. And if your teeth are bad, they're going to have to come out, and then you're going to have lots of toothache and lots of pain, and then eventually dentures.
And all the time Dee's talking, I'm just running my tongue over
Same, I started
jagged teeth, a couple of missing teeth at the back, just like Narinder, the same thing. It's all those curly whirlies, Dee. That's what did it. All those curly whirlies. Oh my!
Definitely the curly whirlies.
Werther's original.
I'm keeping my mouth tightly closed so nobody has a good look and examines my teeth. Oh no!